Today we're talking healing our core wounds. Hey, Matt. It's a good day for it. It's very sort of cozy healing kind of day around here. Still cloudy with some little bits of rain, but it's been, or I mean, rain and sun, but it's been cloudy for days now, off and on. So it feels like getting cozy and healing and, you know, I don't know, tucking in. Let's see, I want to lean back, but I'm kind of far away from you guys. It seems good. So, you like I realized my scarf is like it's a hack. I can wear my sleeping shirts and then I can just put a scarf over it and I look like I'm dressed. But this is my ex-husband's. Oh, I got all of his hand-me-downs, a lot of black shirts with white print. Puffer fish. Says poison, 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 poison. And then tasty fish. The one part you can eat. He was a silly fairy, and so I have a lot of silly t-shirts from him. I got those in the doors. um, Hi, Jackie. Okay, so we're talking collective healing here. My beef with the mental health world and therapy and all of it is that it locates the trouble in individual brains. The chemical theory has been long debunked, and everything, is our conditioning is the majority of our struggle, and we pick that up, of course, from our society. Not we weren't born with these belief systems; that we acquire them. So, nature nurture, that whole debate. It's like, no, the trouble is in the trouble is how we don't nurture and how we condition in these enslavement programs. So, I'm going to talk about the sort of larger context of how we acquired these common wounds slash beliefs slash egregores slash curses, and then open it up for your sharing about which one of these you resonate with. I'm going to read. I'm gonna have bigger notes here today than usual. So I'm going to read all of the ones that I've found. This is an open forum, so if there's core beliefs and wounds that I haven't seen, or that are like your particular version of these, chime in. Chime in. We're learning together. But what we'll do is see what you have to say, see what everybody says, and then if anybody's willing to come forward, we'll spend the second half going through whatever particular, it's like you're struggling, but you might not know, which of these core beliefs are there. Is the core wound operating? But we can find that together, and just being aware and then doing some healing in the body is it. That's what healing is. So, and then anybody who wants to be vulnerable and come forward and share what you're struggling with, I promise 100% of the time, the majority of people here resonate and have the same wound to heal. So we're going to do that today. What's up, Jackie? Daily I Ching. Randall says, nice chat with Pete at today's men's group. Another short Zoom, a half an hour before tomorrow's NHRH. Oh, yes. Good. Thank you for reminding me. A couple quick announcements. Tomorrow is little catch up or get to know you with men's group. So 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Randolph's got the Randolph Prox. DM him for the Zoom link. And y'all are just going to meet and then come up with a common time. And then that's right before the radio hour tomorrow at noon. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is at noon. Tuesday and Thursday is at 4 Central. And tomorrow I've been sitting with this whole the Free World Trust and this sort of Declaration of Freedom that I wrote. I've been sitting with this. I think tomorrow I want to pitch to you guys my initial idea of a new Substack page called like the People's Trust, and have our collective statements of what we want and what our Declaration of Freedom is, and have that be like our main post. But it'll also be it'll also encompass this new PBS. It'll be where we link to all the healers and contributors who are offering their skills and tools for free. So I'm working on it, and I want to hear your feedback. So tomorrow's radio hour, I'd love to talk through it with you, so that I go into the weekend to actually build the Substack page. And I'm going to be talking with my friend, my gnome friend, who is an expert at operations, and ask her to help me build it, and then I'll talk with the tech folks that I know about, um, you know, is are they on board for um, jumping ship if Substack isn't where we build this? So tune in tomorrow for that. Uh, let's see. So yeah, Gary, Linda, Miriam says feeling strange today. Energy feels off out of nowhere. Heather, hi. Uh, Interesting. I'm feeling a little. I wouldn't say off. It's like it's very calm before the storm kind of feeling, like I'm really glad we're doing this healing today. Um, I was sort of sat down by life, like, you have some healing to do on, like, still some betrayal wounds, and it was like I got this sort of glimpse of, like, the I still have a little bit of a story about the folks who betrayed me. Like, you know how I am about anger, which is the no, which is just this energy to slough off in the system. And I've moved through so much of that, but there's still a little bit of, like, those fuckers. And it was like, you need to heal that. And so the thought I had was, it was like this collective healing. We all have, you know, the new world is just, it's a projection, and it's going to be our reflection. So we need to heal to then project clearly a completely new movie, right? A three-dimensional movie. And so it felt like today, and like this, like, going into the weekend too, um like there's just gonna be a lot of healing, and a lot of uh it's like clear something, and then see more clearly, and then write something down. Heal, clear, write. It's like that. And then that goes for everybody. It's like, heal, then you can see clearly, and then you navigate that relationship in a more expert way, or not an expert way, but in a clearer way. You I don't know, whatever your pursuit is, whatever you're up to, there's the only trouble is something in your system that needs clearing. And so the energy didn't feel necessarily off, but it felt like this like, um like a moment before a big purge, before a big clearing. And so we'll see what happens. I don't know if that resonates with you, uh, Miriam, our resident fairy, one of our many resident fairies. I'm thinking of us all as residents now. Heather says, "Hi there, hang in there." Yeah, exactly, hang in there. Hi, Lynn. Maybe that. Yeah, maybe. We don't know. But it's it's like no matter what it is, lean in. No matter what it is, it's okay. Don't go into a story no matter what the energy is. It's just energy in the end, and that's what we're doing today. We're gonna look at those stories that captivate us, and we're gonna heal through the body, and hold and love and cuddle this one who was the one who got hurt by the story. So that's the best to conserve your energy, store up. Yeah, yeah, that's the feeling, exactly. Hi, Kathy. Rewrite your movie script. Exactly. We're rewriting it, and we're rewriting it from clarity's point of view, which is pure consciousness, pure Christ, Sophia, God, Goddess consciousness, which is just pure awareness. And she always writes, he always writes a story of fulfillment for all. That's just, everybody I've ever worked with and known, as they clear, as they heal, that's the only story that's written. And it's glorious. And then it just is like better than we could even imagine. And that's my job, is to help you all just hold the flame as you all start to see what's possible together. We do that together. And we see what fulfillment could be for ourselves personally and then collectively. And it's just so awesome. Randolph says, sometimes it's just cuddle time for a while and then rejoin the world when it's time. Exactly. Exactly. And this is kind of what we were talking about yesterday, right? That when we come into community, we come as a sovereign being. We come having taken 100% responsibility for ourselves and not expecting the community to do any of that for us. Um, that's radical and not at all how we grew up in relationships, where we, outsourced our responsibility for ourselves to whatever authority, to our parents, to God, to um, a priest, to a cult, to a school, to whatever, some external authority, which is not us as our higher self and as this body, which is which is which is who we really are. Fully realized as oneness and fully embodied as uniqueness. That's that's where we're headed. That's what we're up to. And it's always available right now. It's not there's not some esoteric stepwise thing. You don't have to sit on a mat for 10 years or or chant or whatever, any of that stuff. If you love it, if it's enjoyable, then great. But it doesn't require a sacrifice on your part to get to fulfillment. That is the big colonizer lie. So, okay, I'm going to read some of this. Stayed in instead of going out as planned. Yeah, it's a very stay in kind of day. That's the feeling. Hey, Dave. Hey, Peggy. Okay, so we all have the same stuff. And I've been saying recently, like, whether we call it a wound, a belief, um, our core, our pain, a thought, a spell, a curse, an energy, a spirit, uh, an egregore. It is it is a shared distortion, a shared story, that has an energy to it, that has a feeling to it, and they are all shared. I have not found. I mean, again, you guys tell me if there's ones I missed or if you would say it in a different way. I want to hear all of that. But I haven't found somebody saying, like, here's my belief, here's my fear, right? It's a fear too. Um, that I didn't know, that either I didn't have or that somebody else I knew has. So that tells you everything. That tells you that this is not your problem. This is not my problem. It's not even an actual problem. As I've said, like, the only real problem we as humans have is believing we have problems. In natural law, if we were all born into a free world, we would just card sort ourselves into hanging out with the folks we wanted to hang out with, doing the things we wanted to do. It would all be toward fulfillment. That's actually natural law. So we have this artificial conditioning. And the core wound, the core belief, the core story is the story of separation. And it's separation from ourselves. So it's separation from God or oneness and separation from nature, also oneness. You could say separation from the masculine and the feminine. You could say from source, from the body. It's separation in general, and those are the big ones, God and nature. And then that story is told in so many ways. And the two sort of big hallmarks of the story of separation is a story of a binary of, like, masculine and feminine being two separate things. Um, Even you could say sort of zeros and ones. um, and so we have God and nature. We have male and female. We have black and white. Right? I had um, there was a guy on guy on TikTok who was like, somebody was like, just asking about white people, black people, and he was like, I don't go by black and white. We're all shades of wheat. And that's true. There's a spectrum, right, of our shades, and it's literally. And then there was a sheet that was brought up of, like, literally all the shades of wheat, and they were all the shades of skin color. So, right, so black and white, male and female, and of course, male and female is on a spectrum. Mind and body, rich and poor, the ownership class and the renter class. Good and bad. We've got binaries. Then we've got hierarchies, right? So once we start to split things, it's like there's good and bad, and there's better and worse, and so the spectrum is no longer equal. We tell the story of a hierarchy. So, like, I have trouble. I have trouble with stories like the keystone species even. It's like, maybe. I'd need a biologist to describe that for me, but what I've found with hierarchies is just real trouble. It's a conflating, troublesome thing. Um, Whereas we were saying yesterday, it's like all beings, and you think of like human babies, humans are so cool, we're so complex. We're not better than, we're just very complex compared to other animals. Um, and that every human baby is like a little genius before they're conditioned, and genius meaning like genus, like an original. There's never been this before, and so it's just always seems so crazy to me that we like my least favorite class, I've said this before, in graduate school was my first class was the intellectual assessment class, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know psychologists do this." Like, I didn't even realize that that was part of the job, and I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna measure intelligence. Who the fuck cares?" Um, but that was the job, and of course, it's just, you know, it's just what a colonizer would deem, good as for their slaves, basically. Grading, the word grade comes from the meat industry where you grade a grade a cow with grade A meat, grade A, grade B, grade with C. And then grade D is like, not for human consumption kind of thing. So we got graded like meat. And we then run that storyline. So we have better and worse. We have hierarchies of money, whether we're smart, whether we're beautiful. Like that's the other thing. It's if we look at the animal world, it's like it just seems so crazy to me that we would say that I don't know that a horse is more beautiful than a donkey. Like to me, they're all so beautiful. They're all like to clear eyes. It's like they're all just unique. And if we go back to babies introducing them into the world, they'll respond to energy if there's a dark energy there, but everything is so intriguing and beautiful. And of course, each body is a little different. Um, and we have this artificial scarcity created. We do hierarchies, all these measures and stuff that reinforce um, hierarchies, binaries, all this crap. Um, so if we go all the way back, it was basically the story of the colonizers or the enslavers, and really what they did was invert the world. It's like if there's going to be a hierarchy, which is not better than, but we have said this a million times, right? It's that the feminine is the lead position because she's she's the portal for life. Um, she's not better than the masculine, but she's the first. And so it's not a hierarchy, it's just an order, let's say a natural order. Um, in the same way that, like, I always give the example of the Biggest Little Farm, the regenerative farm documentary that's so beautiful. And it's like the order in which that farm, it was very nonlinear, but there was an order to it. The order in which that farm was rebuilt was from the soil up, right? From the feminine. It was literally putting worms and slurry back into the soil, and then all the nutrients in the soil are rebuilt, and then the trees, and then the birds, and then on and on and on. So we've got everything upside down, backward, chopped up, and creating hierarchies. And of course, the rich, cis, white, het male is at the top. When really, if I ever wanted somebody to solve a problem and I was like given the vast range of humans, I would choose the queer black, woman to solve the problem. I would go to her first. Um, so because she's had to come so far, she's had to sort out living in this backward world. And she is sort of the most in touch with with the wholeness. So we've all been brainwashed. We are all in desperate need of healing. Um, and we can wake up. So waking up, we talked about yesterday with Vasvi that waking up and healing are the same thing. It's a process of the mind and body that are not split. It's just two sides of the same coin. We are waking up from the mind, so we're seeing through the thought, and then we are we're healing the body. if we're going to use these words as different things, but it is sort of one process, and which door we go in, it doesn't really matter. We're going to do both today, but that's basically the process. See through the thought, feel through the wound in the body, mind and the body, waking up and healing together. Um, so in the process of healing is that it's seeing through and feeling through. And we've been talking last night. Um, I was sort of seeing and feeling my field, right? So we all have this energetic field, and it's completely and utterly connected with the one energetic fields, and all the fields are connected. And we can feel, healing is about really embodying our whole physical body and our whole energy body. And you feel at home, you feel grounded, you feel um, landed on earth, you feel clear, you feel at peace, you feel held, you feel all the things that you're looking for outside. When you come inside, you feel. And that includes the energy body. And then, um, the part of the awakening is to feel through um, into the larger field, so you can feel the oneness, that it's not just at home in your body; it's home in the one body. And Claudia had this beautiful. She uses the word soul a lot. I forget what she said, but I was like, "Oh, what we're it." So she used the term soul retrieval, and I don't, because I come from psychology and medicine. I worked in integrative health. Like, I used a lot of Western terms, and the soul is like, it's like, um, it's just a word I didn't much use. But you could say healing, awakening, healing, and soul retrieval are all the same thing, which is to say, our awareness when we're in one of these stories is out of the body, and we're sort of floating. We're floating above life. We're not, which isn't to say we actually are lost. We aren't actually. It's like again, like a kid in the backyard facing away from home, believing he's lost, but he's really right there, right? Um, and that the people who run this world are lost in that way. They are still home. They're still literally in their own backyard, but they're not centered inside the home. They're not sitting on the couch with their family and inside themselves. They are in the backyard facing away from themselves. Um, and that's all of us. And so we're all so the most lost, so the most that need the most soul retrieval are the most disembodied and the most in these separation stories. And there is a kind of spectrum there. So then we who are healing are retrieving our soul, which is to say, retrieving awareness to come back home. We're coming out from the backyard or from, across the pond or wherever, however far away we feel. We're retrieving our soul, which is to say, bringing that awareness home. And we've been talking about Sophia consciousness, Christ consciousness, her rising, which is to say, Christ consciousness is rising. This is Christ consciousness. Soul retrieval, healing, awakening equals Christ Sophia consciousness. You, as pure oneness, and your body are seen and felt to be one. I and my Father are one. As Vasvi said, the Father and the daughter are one. Um, these are the two sides of the same coin, and we confirm that together. Confirm that together. And I will hold the flame for you, and people in this community will hold the flame for you, because this isn't esoteric. It's not special. Lynn's here. We're going to talk about awakening and all the various things that happen in awakening. But I always want to reinforce that it's not special. It's actually your birthright. It's totally available. It's available in the same way that the kid could turn around and go back into the house. So we can turn around from our separation story, come back inside, settle in, feel into where all those wounds are in the body, and sense the peace that's here, sense the immortality that's here, um, and raise that light frequency in ourselves and for everybody we come in contact with, because it's one. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go through all of it's almost like each one of these beliefs is like a piece of our soul, our collective soul, that we're going to retrieve. It's like, oh, that wasn't true. Come back home. Oh, that one wasn't true either. Come back home. Makes sense, makes sense. No gatekeeping, exactly, Al. Um, I'm gonna just read these because I don't wanna miss all of your incredible comments. Um, Hi, Peggy. Peggy says, "Indeed, it is simple, releasing attachment. Exactly, you're speaking my language. Oh, good. Natural law indeed." Pete says, "Learning to detach from what no longer serves your higher purpose." Exactly, exactly. It's like, this story doesn't serve me. It isn't it when it doesn't serve, it isn't true, it isn't natural law. It is a story from a very distorted, a very lost. It's like the all the lost souls on this planet were the ones to write the story, and they're all so lost. They're so disembodied. They're so, you know, they're so so lost from them from their true selves. Um, and so their systems, right? So every institution, every system we have worldwide, pretty much reflects this separation story, and it doesn't serve. So we're seeing through the story that doesn't serve, and then we're feeling into reality and honoring what serves, which is only going to be fulfillment, and it's going to be systems in which everyone wins. It's fulfillment for all, which is what we're writing in this people's trust, right? It's a collective who's aware of what's true. Fulfillment for all is natural law. We stand by that, and that that's going to be a moneyless society. That's going to be all kinds of things because if you're running with fulfillment, it's a gift economy. It's everybody winning. There's nobody being extracted from because there's no story of separation. Y'all are my brothers and sisters because we are. We are one family. So, yeah, exactly, Pete. Genius before conditioned. Yeah, I know. Awake and clear. Everything's amazing indeed. Totally. Hi, Seamus. Love that portal for life. What's up, Ken? Embodying, yes. No gatekeeping, yes. Listening to our inner worlds, trusting our own processes again. Exactly. Exactly. So that's what we're doing. We're going to see through the stories we've inherited. And then when we are embodied and home, right, we're back in the house from the backyard. We that's so trustworthy. That is so like our inner light, our inner knowing, our embodied intelligence does not fail. It will not sabotage us. It will not punk us, like I like to say. She, he, they are always moving toward fulfillment for all, and they don't take away from anyone else, which is the other big story in separation. It's a zero sum game. My energy, if there's an interchange in a relationship, somebody gives, somebody takes. Somebody wins, somebody loses, right? Win-loss is the big the big crazy story here. And then we reinforce that story through sports, through grades, through all of this. All of it is a spell. All of it is totally insane. And there's so many gradations of it. So, um, so I'm gonna read my list. I'm gonna read my list of all the um, core beliefs, core wounds about self, others, and the world or life. So just sit back. I'm going to read them, and I'll ask you which ones you resonate with, which ones you still or feel are in your system, and then your version of them, and if you want to work on them together. All right? Okay. For the me, stories of the self, right? So stories of the the illusory separate self that doesn't actually exist. So it's a Megan story, and she's not good enough, and she should have prepared better, and blah blah blah, right? The initial story of that there's a separate self operating this thing is already we're already in trouble because I didn't grow my own hair, and I didn't think that thought, and I didn't go to the shopping mall of ideas and choose these. They just come. um, it's more like life chooses our seat assignment, so to speak. So stories of the self, stories of others, which are basically the same, um, projection, right? And then stories of the world. Okay, here are the ones, the stories of the self that doesn't exist. I'm bad or wrong. I'm unworthy. I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. I'm broken. I'm weird or strange. I'm harmful. I hurt people. I'm sick. I'm ill. I'm broken. I'm stupid or dumb. I'm unable. useless. I'm gross. I'm creepy. I'm disgusting. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short, too this, too that, too masculine, too feminine. Those are the core ones I found. Some version of those. And then here are the ones about the world. It could also be about the self, but I hear them a lot about the world. So the world where life is scary, dangerous, dark, hard, harsh, hurtful, cold, a struggle, or survival of the fittest. It's all luck. It's all a crapshoot. It's unfair. The cards are stacked against me. It's hell. It's a burden. Life is a problem to solve, something I have to do. It's all obligation and duty. And then the big one, there is not enough. There's scarcity in this world, and I have to make up for that. Those are the biggies. What say you? Sound familiar? And it can be, right? So there can be like let's say the repeating thought is, I've got to get these things done today. And it's just a little bit of a grating, stressful thing on you, right? And so what we're doing is we're going to go look at the fear underneath, and it's likely to be one of these. So the fear and the core belief is like, there's not enough time, or I'm not good enough, and I need to do this to prove my worth, right? So those common everyday thoughts always have a little bugger underneath there, and likely to be one of these. So let me know. So let me know which ones resonate, or if they don't, or if you have another one, or if you have something that's haunting you that you want to like go see what's underneath. I can tell you, um, I didn't put I'm hurtful. Oh no, I did. Did I put I'm harmful or hurtful? I hurt people, or they again also they hurt me. They're gross. They're sick. They're unworthy. They're unlovable. They're broken. They're weird. They're too masculine. They're too feminine. Same. Mine have been unworthy, not good enough. Number one, there's something like fundamentally wrong with me. Like I'm I'm broken. I had years ago this like I think I'm the worst person in the world. I'm just the worst, I'm just the worst. Um Certainly like too fat, too this, too whatever. Yeah. Weird, unlikable. It needs to be perfect. Okay, great. Uh it needs to be perfect. Great. Great. Um yeah. Okay, good. Let's do this, Peggy. So it needs to be perfect, or else what? What happens if it's not perfect? What's the fear? If you aren't perfect, what'll happen? And perfect is a great, right? It goes back to our core. It's like there's an authority outside of us that is deemed the grade, right? Is it good enough? Is it is it up to par? Do you get the grade? Right? So we already know we're in an external authority territory, because who would determine whether something's perfect? Right? The question is it fulfilling for me? That's the only reality that we can really refer to, that we really can know in our bodies. But let's look at what's the fear? What's the worst that would happen if it isn't perfect? You get kicked out. Who's the they that you're worried about? And yes, this is everybody. Welcome on Food Without Compromise. I'm a work in progress. Yeah. I want to just flow, but perfection stops me. It's messy. Okay. Flow is messy. for sure. It doesn't go so not order, right. Okay. So there's a belief about order, and this we could put this in our list here, that things should be orderly or linear, right? We have a male run, left brain run storyline going that, and this is how we were all taught, right? So we were taught to be line workers, basically. So, and literally literally writing and literally like sitting in chairs on a time clock and, getting a test to see if we got the answer right, all of which have nothing to do with what that body wanted to do at that time. So we're completely indoctrinated with this perfection idea. And reality, natural law, is not orderly. It's very nonlinear. How this body would spend her day, which isn't a spending, it's a exploration, is gonna is not gonna be able to be tracked by a mental measure that we've inherited, right? So 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 perfectionism is a colonizer story put on top of an organic material that knows nothing. She, the body, knows nothing about order and perfection. She wouldn't even know what that is, right? We had to learn a story of perfection. But what we want to look at is, what's the fear? What's the worst thing that would happen if you are not orderly, if you get it wrong, suppose, whatever wrong is, not perfect. What do you want to make sure doesn't happen? That's us looking right through the story. Agreed. Okay, cool. Do you know what the fear is? And anybody else can chime in too, because again, I mean, the amount of moments of perfectionism in my life. Randolph says, all sounds familiar. I'm going for Academy Awards in every one of those performances. The primary concern is wildly unpredictable world. Not matter what I can do, I'm at its mercy. Okay, great. I'm going to just get my paper so I can write these down. Um, okay, unpredictable world, and you're at its mercy. I actually love that. I'm going to just pause on Peggy. Let's just hear those words. You are at this wildly unpredictable world's mercy. That's correct. And she is merciful. Have you noticed she's merciful? In fact, more merciful the more you allow her to be unpredictable. You allow life and yourself to be unpredictable. Let's just sit with that for a second. Peggy says shunned. Okay, great. Exactly. This is the big fear is abandonment, is separation. Ironically, the fear of being shunned is the very thing that gets you shunning yourself, gets you abandoning this wild, unpredictable, not perfect flow. So this is the trick of our world. I'm going to get shunned and abandoned if I'm not perfect. Meanwhile, abandoning and shunning ourselves. Casting ourselves out of ourselves, literally, energetically. Here's all of our attention on the story of perfection, of how this moment should be. And we've put ourselves in the backyard. We've abandoned ourselves. So we're going to come in. So yeah, that you'll get shunned. And who will shun you? Just so we get clear. Is it your parents? Is it your spouse? Is it friends? Who's going to shun you? Who are you still pleasing? People pleasing is a self-abandonment, period. That's all it is. Life pleases everyone through you, but you don't have to perform that. In fact, usually reclaim it. So I used to, be concerned about my parents. Concerned. Randolph is brilliant. I know, isn't he? Don't know where I belong. Okay, great. Belongingness, right? I don't belong, right? I don't know if I put that down there. I guess I didn't. Yeah. This is the core feeling too. I don't belong. Okay, good. So I don't belong. I don't know where I belong. I'll get shunned. It's really all in the same ballpark. And here we are looking for belonging and not belonging to ourselves, which is feeling the total belongingness, like you couldn't not belong if you tried. Let's go back to the kid in the backyard, right? He's still at home. And actually if he lived in Iowa and was going to Egypt, it's still the backyard. It's a story of belongingness. I won't belong. Who's belonging to who? There's you as oneness, same consciousness looking out of my eyes as yours, and this one is the one you belong to. And in coming together and those two feeling together, cuddled, that sense of belongingness lands. And then you look around, there's nowhere you don't belong. It's literally only the story of belongingness that has you not feeling belongingness. The story of I'll be shunned, I'll be abandoned, that has you feeling abandoned. Tell me if you can see that. Randall says, hadn't thought of it that way. You just flipped my horror show upside down. That's my job. Yeah. We're definitely at life's mercy. Good news, she's merciful. And you go check and see if she's merciful. I've noticed she's so much more merciful than this story ever was. Pete says, what can one learn from not being perfect? What can one learn? Well, yeah, what can one learn? The you do you learn anything from being perfect is really the question. I I didn't learn a thing. In fact, it was nightmare. It was because first of all, how do you ever know, right? Because it's this external authority that's actually a phantom that's just nothing more than a story that we were inherited, right? And that our schools and parents and everybody projected onto us as a society. So no, so let's say I do the thing that my story of perfection and I nail it, right? I'm perfect. My next door neighbor is not going to agree. Certainly not my parents, certainly not the priest, certainly not that other friend of mine. Where am I, you know? And what am I learning? I'm actually just caught in a loop of a story of perfection about whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, right? The dishes, doing a live stream, being in a relationship, being a good friend. You know, I've had friends, I have so many clients really who it's like they're so worried about being a good friend. And it's like, just the only way that you're going to be a good friend or good anything, if you want to use that word good, which you know, is whatever. But let's redefine what good is. It's authentic. How can I be a good friend to you if I'm not being real with you? If I'm showing up on a call with you as a friend, but I don't want to be there, it's a disservice. It's a disservice to myself and to you. It's a lie. It's a performance. So, and what do we learn from that? We don't learn anything. We don't gain anything. They don't gain anything. All we've done is perpetuate a story that has a disembodied feel to it, and that all it will do is maybe relieve my fear that I'm not perfect for a day, right? And relieve the projection I'm getting from my friend that a good friend calls her once a week. And so then we're just doing a story of friendship and a story of belongingness, and nobody has their needs met, nobody's fulfilled, nobody's happy, nobody's enjoying themselves at all. So I don't see what you can learn from running the program, from trying to be perfect or trying in any way, right? But we got to get to the fear. Um, so the fear is shunned. I won't belong. But let's look and see, has being perfect ever has it ever gotten you anything? Have you ever learned anything? Have you ever gotten to, I say this all the time. It's like you can't initiate from fear, from the belief, and get to not fear, or not belief, right? It's just you. You can't. You're not going to drive anywhere other than to where you started from, right? Because you're off track. You're not in any kind of authenticity. So, So, you have that friend you call with the friend, but you hang up that phone and it's like, "Well, when are we gonna talk again because I gotta run the program of being the good friend, or I gotta run the program of perfection to, make sure I please them and stay connected to my kids, to my spouse, to my whatever." Peggy says, "Perhaps husband, siblings, mother." Okay, great. You belonging is a human need, perhaps. Yes. Um, yes, this is a story though that is a real good. This is a good one. It's a trap that like so it's a fear of not belonging, which pulls you out of yourself, and you don't feel the belongingness that's here. And then it's this really captivating story of like belonging is a human need. Um, I need like the psychologists and the social psychologists or the health and wellness people, right? Are like you need loneliness is an epidemic and you need a certain amount of friends and you'll get sick in your old age if you don't have so and such and such amount of connections, right? All of these external stories of what health is, what belongingness is, what even natural law is. And meanwhile over here you don't want to talk to that person over it at all. Like in your body, in your being, you don't even care. You don't actually you actually wanna be, like, alone and, eating pizza or whatever it is true, or meeting somebody new who's so much easier to be with, that you don't have to perform at all, right? And they could give a shit, and they don't want your perfection at all, right? So we have a lot of stories of family, we have a lot of stories of belongingness like this, and they're they're all, they're all worth questioning. So let's do a Byron Katie thing, which is to question the story, right? So, who would you be and how would you feel? And would you make a call? How would the perfectionism thing look if you didn't believe I, I'm going to get shunned. I need to belong with them. I need these people. Like, I need their approval. I don't know if I said that very well, but let's just pop the bubble. Like, you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have a belief about needing to belong, just went away. And that's what we can do right now. We're seeing through it, which is what we're doing. We're just seeing through the thought. I'm just sharing. That's just a thought. It's just a story. If belongingness, if you've never even heard of belongingness or being shunned or any story about humans and how we should be together, just no story at all, what's left? And then the next question is, where is the wound in the body? Where is the grip about I need to belong? I don't want to be shunned. I have to please my husband. I don't want to be alone, right? Where is it? That's who you've left alone. That's who you haven't claimed and held to feel the belongingness. We we're it's oneness. We already belong. We've never been split up. We have to feel that. We have to confirm it internally and sense, holy shit, I've never been separate. I've never been separate from any of them. Now I'm left with my body, and she's very clear about yeses and nos. And I found a lot of my family, including my own father, it's a no. It's a no. I had a story of belongingness, a story of family that kept me talking to this man who subtly put me down and was a real son of a bitch, literally. um, and my body didn't want to talk to him anymore. It was a big one because I belong to myself. I found the belongingness. What's true? What's true? I take care of her. She's my priority. She's my child. She's my number one. And I don't betray her anymore. She belongs to me, and I'm not running a story on her anymore. Right? I'm not shunning her. You worry about them shunning you, you shun you every time. every time. And then come to find out, right? The less I shun myself, the more I belong to myself, the more I'm healed inside and cuddled up and connected and home and centered and retrieving my soul that was wandering out there looking for belonging. Here comes all these new friends that are also sovereign, that also take 100% responsibility for themselves that I don't perform for, and they don't perform for me. And then if we wanna go back to this sort of let's say the natural human tendency, the natural law of coming together as a social species, yes, we come together, but not out of fear. We come together out of joy, and it's one or the other. Truth and joy and fulfillment, or fear and stress and trying and effort. It's one of the 2. It's always gonna be one of the 2. There's no I mean, there's gradations and it can feel subtle, but you can feel it. You know the energy of it. And to go to, like, this sort of larger energetic shift that's happening, everything's getting amplified. So, if we're doing something out of fear and stress and a distorted field, one of these separation stories, it's gonna suck sooner and like, more intensely. But if we do it from truth, if we honor, we don't shun ourselves, we belong to ourselves, we don't tell a story of a future in which I'm being abandoned, that also speeds up. We make friends quickly. Uh, so it's a cool time for healing. Let me know if that resonates with you, Peggy. My husband is my shunning. Say a little bit more about what you mean by that, Heather. Miriam says, "Who am I?" Peggy says, "Yes." He doesn't believe writing is a job. Okay. So he's got a belief, right? And then, do you I'm just gonna go with Heather's question here. He doesn't believe writing is a job. Um, so he has this projection onto you, right? She's useless. This isn't a good job. This isn't real, right? So he has this belief. Um, do you believe it? Are you shunning you? Let me know. Hi, Kathleen. Pete says it can go both ways. Uh, Not sure what you mean, but say more. Um, Fear is of losing connection to family, community, Gaia, as if they cared only about material perfection. Um, well, this is it, right? This is where we're all. It's like losing the connection to family, to community. Um, and tell me what you mean by as if they cared only about material perfection. Because I think it sounds to me like you're saying, they don't, but the fear is that they do, right? That I need to be perfect, I need to be good enough, I need to be worthy, I need to earn my keep, I need to whatever, fill in the blank, because the projected authority, um, you know, which is God, which is Gaia, which is, my wife, which is my family, community, they're all judging me. They're measuring whether I've earned my keep in this thing. Um, Tell me if that's what you mean. Pete says, and if it's perfect for you, if another has different approach, it may not be perfect for them, yet the same result occurs. The fear of being judged is the attachment. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly. It's a whole projection nightmare, right? And the whole time, if we go back to the soul retrieval idea, or where is my energy and attention, it's in this drama, this movie of perfection and what they're thinking and what's going to happen and all of the future, right? I mean, time, to go back to, like, are you in time? Because there's no time. Time is an illusion. So I'm telling this story, and meanwhile, I have abandoned myself. I have lost my center. I am no longer in reality, which is what this body actually wants to do, or is what's actually happening. It's not even doing. It's like it's just what's happening. Like the body is like wants to go be in the bed. The body wants to go for a 5-mile run, but I'm in a conversation with my family about what I was supposed to do, and I mean, a whole thing None of it's actually what's true. And then the art is, right, and what we learn is how to stay sovereign, deeply connected inside your own body, and communicate what's true to that other person, right? Which is like, you know, I um whatever it is. I mean, give me a specific example if you would. Um, you know, but let's say it's like, I want to do this for you. I have I love doing this for you. Let's say it's your wife or something. I love doing this for you, and right now, I really wanna go for a long walk, and so I'm gonna do that, and I'll look forward to seeing you later. Whatever, I don't know what it is, right? Um, that you don't right, here's the energy and attention. They're in their story. Your job is not to placate their story. Because it's really just your story and their story dancing together in an illusory world, and both people have abandoned themselves. Your job as the one who can come out of the story, right? So this goes back to, you, Heather, with the writing job. It's like, here's your husband believing that. You come out of that story, and then you're over here, and let's say it's a day you wanna write, and let's see, he's got fear about money or all kinds of things, right? So we have to look and see what's true here. What's true? Here you are in your body. You're going to say what's true. I see you don't think writing is a job. I know it is. And I get great enjoyment from doing it. And so I'm going to go do that. And I'll see you when I no longer feel like writing. P.S. I don't want to cook tonight. And I'll be having a smoothie and watching watching a movie or whatever in the world you want to do, because the truth is you actually need some space from him. So here we go with what's true. There is no value in perpetuating a story of I'll be shunned, I need them to like me, all the fear that might be wrapped in that one conversation. Fear about money, fear about not being enough, fear of all that stuff. But the peace is in not shunning yourself and not turning away from yourself and honoring the body and finding where's the wound. Because here we are, we're seeing through the story, we're seeing through the story. Where is I don't want to get shunned? I have to be perfect. Is it in your heart? Is it in your gut? Because we see through it, now we have to feel through it. We have to feel the sense of peace. And maybe I'll do this in the last like 15 minutes. We'll just have a little quote unquote meditation or healing where we just come into the body and sense where those stories are being held and feel through them, to feel the peace, to feel the connectedness, to feel that not being abandoned, held, right? Not being shunned, to connected together. It's here. It's never gone anywhere. It's not over there. They can't shun you. Only you shun you. You as awareness have left your body, and we're going to retrieve your soul. We're going to come back into the house and sense the peace that's here that will never be out there. You're only going to feel peace here. You're not going to feel peace out there. You don't feel satisfaction and fulfillment in some vicinity near your husband or near your family or near your friend. You feel it here. And when you've left, your body and you're putting on a mask to be perfect or anything else, you can never feel it. You can never feel the peace that's here because you're not in reality. You've left. And you didn't really go anywhere. Again, you're just in the backyard. You can just come in. Just come on in. Come on into the heart. Come on into the belly. Come on in away from your story and into the body. Peggy says, program of being a good daughter to an aging parent. Okay, great. You need to be a good daughter. Okay. And what's the worst that would happen if you aren't a good daughter? Because my father called me the best daughter in the world before I called him out. And all I did was ask that man to take accountability for things he did and didn't do. Um, I it was misogynistic and tough, hard things that he'd done to my mother, to myself, to his sisters, to his ex-wife. Um, Things I'd witnessed, things that he didn't show up for me. He didn't show up for women. And I just asked him, I just said, "What about these things, Bryce?" And he called me cruel. He called me cruel for just asking him to hold himself accountable. And then he suggested we don't talk. And I said, "Yeah, if you think me asking you to take accountability for yourself, in order to stay in relationship with you," because I was like, I can't be in a relationship with a man who doesn't take responsibility for himself, because I'm not in relationships anymore with anybody who doesn't take responsibility and 100% responsibility for themselves. You don't get to be in relationship with me if you don't do that. So he he suggested we don't talk, and I said, "Yeah, if you're not willing to do that." So, um, at that point, there was no fear left in me about losing the relationship. I'd lost so many, um, over the last year and a half or so, but, there was still the story of like, ooh, like, uh, good daughter's gone, right? But it was just a false performance. It was him projecting what a good daughter is, who never questions him, who puts up with his bad behavior, who puts up with total neglect, right? That's what made a good daughter. That wasn't good for me. That was not good for me. So question what good daughter is, right? It's their projection onto you, just a story, and they inherited that story from an insane society. So the question is, if you can see through, go to the end of the fear, go to the end of the fear, which is whatever it is, right? My father thinking I'm cruel. My ex-husband, when I broke up with him, he called, I was so worried about being the bitch, so worried about being mean, meaning, which meanwhile I was dying in that relationship, right? And it's like, because God forbid I ever, take care of myself first, right? That's the woman's story. This is the story in my family, the sacrificial lamb, the white woman who's going to sacrifice, or women in general, sacrifice for everybody else, right? Um, so that's the story. That's a good daughter, right? That was good wife. It sucked for me. What's good for me? What's true? Which is just what's true. And what's true is no to the relationship with these men. Yes to myself, to discovering what's true for me, what I love, what I want, where I want to live, who I want to be with, what I want to wear, everything, everything was rebooted. And that's what's going to be good. We have to be willing to be the projection in their eyes to belong to ourselves. Kathleen says, trust. If we trust, there is less grasping. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't mind the word trust. And how do I want to say? If you look, every time you've chosen what's true, like embodied truth, right? Like this is really what's true for me. You know it works out. It's a knowing more than in my experience now, it's a knowing more than a trusting. It's like I just know. I know I lose and they lose when I run this story. I know I win, so to speak, when I honor what's true. And you could say I trust life, but I really just know life is taking care of me. She oneness, truth, what's true in my body, when it just serves me and everyone every time. It never doesn't. It's math. It doesn't require trust. It's like 1 plus 1 equals 2. When I honor what's true in my body, and I'm it's very clear, and I can feel it. It feels like joy. It feels like aliveness. It feels like fulfillment. It feels like effortless. It it feels like peace. I know it's gonna work. I know we're on the right track. And when it feels like stress, when it feels like effort, when it feels like trying, when it feels like pushing, when it feels like disembodiment, when it feels dead, you're in a story inherited from an insane society, and they got nothing for you. So look that fear right in the face. What's the worst thing that would happen? My father calls me a cruel person. Okay, okay. What I'm being cruel to is his ego. That's actually a good thing. It put him on a potential path of resurrection comes to mind, but of reckoning, of taking responsibility for himself, of healing himself, of soul retreat, right? If I keep perpetuating the story that he was a good father and that we're close or whatever, right? If I hold that story up and play the good daughter, play the good wife, play the whatever, how do I serve his soul? I don't. I don't. Because that his story here needs to hear the no that's true in my system to then potentially wake him up, right? There has to be an actual consequence. Otherwise, we're just in a fucking virtual reality of a story of father and daughter, wife and husband. And if you've noticed, you get nothing from that. It's so empty. It's so empty. And this is another way to say it is you can have your story or you can have reality, which is peace and fulfillment. But you can't have both. You can't have your story of like good wife or good daughter or good friend. You have to go with authenticity. You have to be willing to let that story go. It's not like you will necessarily lose it. I certainly didn't lose it with many of my friends who would still call me a good friend, let's say. But when I stood up for myself with this cult I was a part of and all kinds of other things, right? I got called a lot of things, but I reclaimed myself, right? And I learned, oh, didn't actually didn't actually do anything. In fact, it's a liberation. Because if I take care of myself, if I honor what's true, if I write when I want to write, I'm alone when I want to be alone, go on that run when I want to go on that run, and this person in my life calls me a bitch for doing so or whatever, I know exactly who not to hang out with. I know exactly who does not wish me well. I know exactly who doesn't want my fulfillment. And the only real friends, husbands, parents, family members, people, allies, the only real allies want for you what you want for you. If they don't, if they have an agenda with you, they're bringing in the separation story. They're bringing in societal insanity. And it's gotten all of us nowhere. So it tells you something. And I hate to bring that bad news. It's like, uh, you know, I lost a marriage. Most of my friends, my parents, my father, my mother, and my stepfather. My mother died in 2019. My stepfather died in 2023. I had stopped talking with my mother for a period of time before she died, but then I reconnected with her and did it on my terms. So we had a relationship on my terms, and it was fun. It was lovely. It was a lot less. I talked to her a lot less than her story would have liked. Right? She had a whole story of good daughter and a whole story of how close we were and how much we should talk and all that stuff. I had to cut it all the way off. But then when we reconnected on my terms, it was fun. And same with my stepfather. We had a lot of fun together. We talked. It was always fun to talk to him because I didn't compromise at all, and he didn't either. So we got to get real. We got to see if there's struggle. It's one of these beliefs. It's a fear at the base of it, and see through it and then feel through it. Peggy says in the show, okay, great, 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 good. And that lets everybody find it. I'm feeling stuff in my throat today too, and in my lower belly. So super. Pete says the power of self-love for the inner self. Yeah, exactly. Let's just define what self-love is. It's this pure immortal awareness, what's looking, what's feeling, not your separate self-concept. She and he are not what, and they are not what feels. It's pure awareness itself, that which experiences everything. What's looking. And what's looking, what's feeling, naturally loves this body and naturally comes into this body and naturally honors this body. That's how we started out, right? We would not have played with another kid at 2 years old that we didn't want to play with or eaten food we didn't want to eat. So that natural merger is merciful and kind and joyful and fulfilling. And it's what you could call self-love. I am committed. I love me. I, as pure awareness, love this body. And you do. You are your favorite. You are the love of your life. There is no other being you would rather be. Ask yourself that. Would you trade with any of the other 8 billion? Your mind might tell a story right now. But look, you have to, if let's say it's a celebrity or some somebody, some rich person or whatever, beautiful, and it's like you gotta live their life. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, the people of the colonizer classes, they're the most miserable because they're the most conditioned with this stuff. And they're not here, right? They're just running the program. I always tell that story of when I went to that Zach Bush fundraiser and this, $17 million mansion with everybody who's deeply wealthy. And I was like, this is the zombie apocalypse. These people are the most disembodied, unfun, lost souls as a collective, as a group I have ever been around. Because I hadn't been around that many rich people at one time, rich white people. Um, Holy shit, holy shit. So, uh, so, anybody that anybody we're aspirational, it's like, don't believe it, don't believe it. Self-love is you falling in love. You are so in love with you, you really don't wanna be anybody else. You really don't. All of these stories of the better person, however you look or whatever, it's like you don't actually want it. You just wanna cuddle with yourself. You actually wanna be you. You actually wanna be you at your age, at everything. Like, it's like you wouldn't really wanna go back. You wouldn't really trade. Look, how that sells everything. Like, the base of everything is actually self-love. Is like, "Oh my god, I just love them so much." Right? You just projected onto you were a million stories of how you should be. Right? So, cutting off my father, it was like I don't have those projections anymore, and I'm not playing them, like, they're just gone, and then he's just gone. It's like and I invited him, it's like, when if he's if he takes accountability, sure, then we can have a real conversation, we do 2 real people talking, but before that, we were just 2 phantoms, right? I'm playing good daughter, he's playing, supportive father. Neither we, the ones who are healing, have to be the ones to exit and to stop that psychotic dance, right? Miriam says, "So sorry." Oh, thank you. Thank you. Curiosity indeed. Heather says, "Wants me to get full-time job, I believe." Okay, good. So the question is, what do you want? What do you want, Heather? And this is the hardest question. And this is definitely requires coming into the body. Awareness coming in. What do I truly want? What would be your dream? Right? This is what we're doing as a collective at the People's Trust. What are we imagining? What would be this dream world, free world? And we each have to do this individually. What is your dream job? Job, because in my world, the job play is the same. School and play is the same. It's all the same. So what would you just love to do all day? And claim it. Say it. If it comes to I want this, and here's the truth about your husband, he doesn't probably know what he wants. He just has a story. But you need to stake a claim. Here's what I want. Find what it is first. Come in through come into the body. Here's what I want. If he's not on board, then it's very straightforward. We want different things. Okay, we know we want different things. This is good to know. And there's a natural next step there, right? We are so taught compromise in relationships. And I talk about this all the time. It is, and we believe it's valuable that I compromise to stay in relationship with him. He compromises to stay in relationship with me, and that's what makes the marriage work. And that's a good thing. And we have to sort of calibrate who's going to compromise what. Nope, everybody's losing in that. That's all story. That's all from these insane stories. It has nothing to do with what these two people want. And if these two people are fully sovereign, fully embodied, doing their thing, and it doesn't overlap, it doesn't overlap. And the best thing would be to go your separate ways. So consider that his opinion about what you want and what you're doing is has nothing to do with you. It has and it isn't actually relevant, right? I yeah, there's no one I talk with anymore who like, I'm open to criticism if y'all have or is it criticism or feedback? I'm open to feedback, of course, but if it comes with a projection, with a whole untrue story on top of it, that implies what my intention is, all kinds of things that have had projected onto me in the last couple years. Uh, no. Like, we don't have any there's no reason for us to talk, right? You're not serving me, you're not helping my fulfillment, you're not helping the fulfillment of the people I work with. What am I doing? What am I doing talking to you? I'm perpetuating a story that a good friend, sacrifices herself or whatever. So, Randolph says, "Such a beautiful response to Peggy about belonging resonated deeply." Oh, good. Yeah, this is it. We share them all, right? I'm really just channeling. I'm just what's true, and I'm realizing like I didn't capture all of the stories that we have, so we're just learning together, for sure. It's the same one here, right? Hi, Paula. He says, "Right, they love me, but we get caught up in American pursuits of X." Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's the pursuit, right? Here's separation. Here's we're separate from God and nature, so we got to go. So then we're separate, and then religion's gonna sell us back. Religion, spirituality is gonna sell us back God, and stuff is gonna sell us back nature. And you know, I was talking with my friend the other day, and she was like realizing like how little, like she's like, I don't want much, like I don't. She's like, I'm so happy with not much. Now I'm like she's sort of still in the process of stripping away. Um, because I'm like, well, I want everything. I want natural swimming pools, and I want everybody to be able to come over, and the free world, and a natural building with Spanish tiles, and so there's an endless amount that I want. But um, but I know what she means, which is like it's what we often are buying back, and as Americans or as just people, is the story of what's going to fill that hole, that gap, that separation story. Versus what would be so fulfilling, which I'm already fulfilled. I already love my little cottage and my life, but what our being is made for is ongoing fulfillment, and it just doesn't end. And it's fulfillment, like overflowing cup, is our nature. And we have been taught the opposite, that it's like take the scraps that we can get. It's like take one look outside. Life and her abundance. It's abundant. It's always abundant for everyone. There's more than enough for everyone forevermore. Amen. So says, and trying to be perfect at our specialization versus just being happy to be part of a family community. Yeah, yeah, exactly. This siloed specialization thing is another piece of separation, right? It's like you're a builder, you're this, or I'm a psychologist and I study the mind or whatever. And it's like what I want is fulfillment. And what I want, I've always been intrigued by humans. So I want to understand and understand humans. And that is more than just psychology, right? That's got me into spirituality and non-duality and energy healing and medicine and right? And biology, um, because that's my natural exploration. I was naturally gonna be interested in this portion of us. Um, so yeah, the which goes back to industrialization, which goes back to the story of separation again, right? Where we're made to be cogs in a wheel, instead of fully bloomed humans who just do what we want all day. But we each free ourselves up from that indoctrination, and then this life is more free, and this life is more free and true and authentic and aligned and vibrant and alive, and then it perpetuates. Um, I want to get to that story, or the question that Miriam had of who am I? Um, is that an existential spiritual question, Miriam, or is it is it a fear story of like I need to figure out who I am and where I belong? I remembered I didn't quite get to that. Peggy says, "Do the meditation now, perhaps." Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I will. Heather says, "My husband has money issues. I'm happy writing. He worried about our daughter being at school." Yeah. So he's got fear he's projecting onto you, and you don't have to get involved with that story. Um, if you want, Heather, come on. I do live one-on-ones for free if you do it on the radio hour, where you can come on the live stream with me and we can go through it. We can go through the whole thing if you felt like doing it. Um, Otherwise, you can hire me in person. But you know, the process for you is to wake up from your fear of being shunned, of not being seen as the good wife, or compromising, or nice, or accommodating, or even like you should be more frugal or save money or whatever, just not going along with his fear program. And be willing to be the problem in his eyes, to honor yourself and then speak to that. Have your boundary. It's like, I won't be I won't be talking about this fear of money that you have anymore. Um, I'm aware that we are okay. I know what our budget is or whatever it is, right? I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be reserving time to do that. And I won't be having this conversation anymore. It's like along those lines, right? That's you, pure awareness, honoring the truth in your being. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. Thank you, doctor. Good evening. Good evening to you. Is he too wounded to take accountability? Uh, is he too wounded? Yeah. I mean, oh, my father? My father is, yeah. I mean, yes. Everything goes back to wounding. Yeah, because if he were to take accountability, and this is everybody. This is all the folks who are doubling down on their distortions now, right? Like, it's this time of reckoning. Like Claudia and I were talking about, it's like you got to get right with with yourself. like like it's integrity or bust right now. Is my way to say it. um, and why a lot of people are doubling down on their lie, on their story, is because if they look at that one story, the whole house of cards falls down. Right? He's gotta look at his whole life with me. He's gotta look and see, and not just with me, with his sisters, with everyone. He's gotta look and see how it's been a pain program running his ego, which has put women down his whole life. Um, there's, yeah, a lot of wounding there. Yeah. Now I'm still he's it's interesting. He's watching, like, he's watching this. He's watching everything. He found out via um, the video that my pup had died and sent me a text about it. Didn't imagine being my father and not mentioning that I've created this thing. I've never heard the words "I'm proud of you" from him or anything. Um, but he was like, "Are you going to get another dog? I'm sorry to hear about Rad." Um, and it was just a little bit, it was just off, and I was like, "Oh, he's watching it, but he's not saying," that says everything about his ego. So that ego is the separate self that really is a core wound, right? A core wound. I know it's a core wound of unworthiness, of brokenness, of all the stuff that he hasn't looked at. I have huge compassion for him, compassion for everyone, but I have compassion for myself, which is this body, this being does not want to communicate with somebody who's so lost. That soul, that lost soul, that the energetic signature of that is very dark. It pulls my energy. It drains me every time. That's another hallmark, right? We know if something drains your energy. And so these conversations, like, you don't have to be a part of any conversation you want to be a part of, right? If you don't want to talk to your husband about money, it's like, now there's going to be layers of truth that you probably have to look at for yourself. But we can start there. You can start with, like, this is your fear, it's not mine, and I won't be discussing this with you. That's boundary one, and then you can keep going. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Megan, for asking care of you now, for taking care of you now. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's like, it's so beautiful when we all choose self-care. It's like every time a client or a friend does, I'm like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," right? We reflect this back to each other, and then we show each other how possible it is. It's beautiful. So thanks. Miriam says, "I was also dying in my marriage." Yeah. Win, lose instead of joy, aliveness. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's no more fear, there's only thrill to do every single task to work at this life. Sorry, I'm touched. Thank you. I tell you, we're healing together. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. It's just awesome. So my heart's just it's happy tears of, like, again, this is just my dream come true, where we my story helps you and your story helps me. What a what grace. Pretty awesome. And look, it's safe to cry in public and to be a mess. So safe. Thanks for all the hearts, everybody. Al says, "There's no more fear. There's only thrill to do every single task." Beautiful. Oh, here it is. To work at this life that I've created to raise my child. Because I've created it. It's my truth. I've chosen this life. No more fear. Oh, Al. So beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? That's it. That's it, my brother. I've chosen this life and there's no more fear. Yes, that's the feeling. I feel that too. It's like, where's the fear? I can't, there's no more fear in my world. There's still healing, but there's just this joy and this, like, oh my God, what grace. I just get to do what I love to do. And then I'm like, hey, everybody, we could all just do what we want to do. And hey, world, we can all just do what we want to do. Like, that's our birthright. I know it. I've walked it. And I've walked so many other people through it. I I not only trust it, I know it. I will stand on that. Fulfillment is natural law. That's the only place we're going. A free world is a safe world. It's so simple. And Al just described it. So thank you. Bill says your father was cruel. Many like him talk to others what they know they themselves are. Exactly. Exactly, it's the projection, I know that, exactly. And, my father was treated cruelly, he had cruel parents, and he was caught in the, like, "I forgave my parents, and I don't have an issue with my parents anymore," and he didn't actually heal the wounding from them. My grandmother both of them were cruel. My grandfather was, both were, like, narcissistic, cruel people, um to their children. They weren't to their grandkids, interestingly, but, anyway, yeah, the cruelty, I sometimes call these beliefs just curses. It's like I broke the generational curse, and he told the story that he did 'cause became a counselor and stuff, and, so he liked to tell the story that he doesn't have anything left in his system. He's healed, and it's like, sorry, dad." Hi, Greg. Must have been tough as an only child. Lots of pressure, I imagine. Oh, yeah. Talk about perfectionism. Exactly. You didn't lose them, Megan. I didn't. I am I. You are aligned. Thanks. I also says, I'm just getting to know me. Don't want to give him up. He's good. Exactly. This is it. And this is so good for, like, Heather to hear, right? Where we get to know ourselves. We didn't really know ourselves. We were a facsimile version of a societal structure of a story. And we're just trying to try to be that disembodied soul retrieval. Who am I? What is this body? What does she actually want? What does she like? Who knew I liked fancy nails? Tell you, I wouldn't have guessed that one. But you just discover and you're like, I'm so good. I'm so happy. She's the best. She's perfect as she is in her full messiness, or crying in public or whatever it is. Total favorite, right? Yeah, just getting to know me. I know, and really it's like middle-aged often where the towers we built from societal conditioning come crumbling down. Marriage, friendships, family, because you can't sustain them anymore because it's artificial, right? And you're too disembodied and running programming. It's so depleting. So, but then you rediscover yourself. You're like, oh my God. And you can rediscover, it's almost like reconnecting with all the little ones inside of you. that we're abandoned, abandoned by your parents and abandoned by you, right? So the parents abandon us, society abandon us, the schools abandon us, everybody abandons us. They don't care about what you really want, which is the only question. So you just get used to abandoning you. But going back to your childhood, going back to like you only feel things here, let's say like my father was cruel or abandoned me, was neglectful, let's say. He was more neglectful than abusive. So here's the neglect. You could say abandonment, right? He didn't know what was going on with his daughter. But I played good daughter, so this is my hand in it, right? I went disembodied to try to be the good girl and not tell him what I actually needed, right? Which, not that he could have given it to me, but I played the game. So really, in the end, because again, it's all one. We just go back to the energy of it. I abandoned me. It was always between me, and and everybody else is just it's just a play. And so he was playing father. He played the villain. So he's playing father who abandons his daughter. And then I bought into I bought into his good daughter story, right? And I abandoned myself. So now we're no matter who abandoned us, no matter how much betrayal, no matter how harsh the world has been, we just come back to us. We heal us. We love us. We honor us. We don't abandon us. We fulfill us. It's game over. It's game fucking over, which is my whole point about the world at large. It's like we stake our claim. We say, we're announcing the free world. This is the People's Trust Collective, and we say this is what it is. And then we sign our names and we just do it. And we do a gift exchange, just like the Natural Healing Radio Hour is, and we don't work in their systems, their insane systems. We just do this. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And most people want that. Most people are awake enough to not want the enslavement story anymore, let's say. Okay, I want to do a little meditation here, as requested. Have my two screenplay files. Amazing, you're getting paid as a writer. So he's just wrong. He's just in a fear story that you see so many unfulfilled marriages. I know meditation be helpful. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your beautiful statements. I just want to do the meditation came out of nowhere is how I feel today. Good. How great. Great. You guys are talking together to each other. Didn't feel like that in the beach yesterday. Was just enjoying being in nature, being free. Great. Been indoctrinated as a human resource through the illusion of a belief of what is needed to be joyful in our existence. Exactly. It's a good way to say it. Absolutely. My mother was cruel to me and my siblings loved my children. Yeah. We've all been through it, haven't we? And then we'll be cruel to ourselves. Love it. Heather says, LOL. Okay, cool. Okay, great. So let's just do like 10 minutes here. Okay, so here's plain old awareness. What's looking at me is what's looking at you. It's the same. The consciousness looking out of my eyes that's feeling this body is the same one looking back at me. See. That oneness, that Christ consciousness, that Sophia consciousness, that source awareness, that which is the consciousness inside of everything, is who you really are. She's immortal, he's immortal, they're immortal. They don't die. The body comes and goes, form comes and goes, energy flows, all while this consciousness experiences it. Okay? This body has been neglected due to these separation stories. We, the consciousness, oneness, have played a game of separation and we have left this body, relatively left, right? We didn't really leave it. We're just in the backyard. But healing is a soul retrieval, is awakening, is to come back home. Each of those beliefs, perfectionism, not good enough, etc., pull our attention out of the body and into this like grid, this network, this matrix. It's a disembodied artificial matrix, a storyline imposed on life. And we're going to come back from that. So we've seen through so many of those stories in this shared spell. Where did that shared spell, where is it Where is it vibrating or pulsing or knotted or in pain in your body? Peggy identified the throat. I've got pelvis in the throat today. A lot of times it's in your heart. Those core chakras are going to be good places to look. So, and they're all through the body, right? The crown chakra, we've got the third eye, which is like here, but also in the back of the head. So it goes out both ways and in the middle of the head. So the pineal gland in the middle is the third eye, the throat chakra, back and front, sides too. Um, and it's all over the body, but the core wounds are usually at the center of these chakra points. They're or close in. And getting to the center opens up that channel. So just start to just feel around. Take that awareness, feel through your body. Where is there a knot? You don't have to know why. You don't even have to know if it's, you definitely don't have to know why. But you don't even have to know if it's related to the perfectionism story or anything else. You can just heal. You can just find where there's a knot. It's like doing inner massage therapy, right? Okay. So feel, first of all, sense, sense what awareness, pure oneness feels like. It's endlessly vast. So your awareness looking around at itself and feeling itself. Feel you can't find an edge, you can't find an end. It's endless. Look. Look inside your own, it's like it's this inner eye, which is like the one eye. Look around. Look and feel. Does it stop outside? Does it stop at the skin? Does it stop a mile behind you? Up in the sky below you? Just this pure awareness. Notice how it permeates everything. It doesn't have an end because it's the consciousness that's in everything. Okay? Now, that consciousness, what's looking, has every quality in it. It has gentle, peaceful, loving quality to it. It also has a fierce, supportive quality, like masculine and feminine, right? It's like would go into the burning building and get the kid. And it would also grab the kid and have a nice cuddle. Because my father was not a very stand-up father. I lately, especially, I love the fierce quality of awareness. I'm like, "Go in and get that kid." So it's like, "Come into that throat. I'm coming in. I love you, kid, and I got you." Right? But you might want the gentle, soft, more feminine quality of you awareness. I'm telling you, every quality is in it, though. So you can choose. But right now, let's just pick one. Pick which one. Is it the strong pillar of like, I got you and I'm gonna pick you up and hold you like a father would, right? Like a strong father. Like I'm like I got you. Or is it like come lay on my lap and I'm gonna soft and pet your head and cuddle you, right? Both are cuddles, but they have different qualities. Find that quality. It's in awareness itself. It's in you. You are that quality. You are that. You are all of it. There's nothing you aren't. There's no quality you aren't. There's no separation. So you are calling on yourself. You, the body, where it hurts, where there's a knot, is calling on you, oneness. You, the parent and the child, to come, please hold me. Please don't abandon me. Please attend to me. Please love me. That's what pain is. That's what the knot is. So go. Take that awareness and go right into the throat and go all the way in. Close your eyes if you want. Go all the way in, all the way to the center of the knot, the center of the wound. Is it a sharp pain? Go right in and give it a soft hug, a kiss. Give it a fierce hug. Like, I got you. I'm never, ever, ever leaving. Because this is really it. You go in, you touch the wound, and you stake your claim. You don't leave your body. You are not going to leave this one anymore. You come home to yourself. I won't leave her again. I will not abandon her again. I will not sacrifice her desire, her need, her boundary for somebody else's stupid ass fucking story. That is better for them if I don't perpetuate that story. So I honor me. I merge with me. And there might be thoughts that might be like, because boy, the whole story is really about pain avoidance. It's like, I don't wanna resolve this. It's too scary. It's gonna hurt too bad, or I'll fall apart, or who knows what. No, none of them are real. None of them are real. Go find out for yourself. Go right into the sensation itself. It's nothing more than sensation. It's just energy. What is it to touch all the way into the throat, all the way into that sharp pain in your heart, all the way into the ache in your belly, the nausea in your belly, all the way into the ache in your pelvis? Flood, flood the area that hurts the most with presence, with just being with it. Feel into the muscles, if it's in the muscles, the tendons, the bones, the tissues, the blood, the organ. You don't even have to know what it is. Just go. It's the abandoned parts. We abandon our own heart to stay in relationship. We abandon our own voice to stay in relationship. And nobody won with that deal. And keep feeling into it, right? You're just feeling it. You're finally feeling that spot you've been avoiding. And if you've done any of my meditation, quote unquote meditations or healings before, you know I move a lot. And all that is as you come into the body releases. It's blocked energy. That's all it is. And you don't need to go into a story about it. Nothing. That's that's the land of not real. Go into the energy itself, go into the pain itself, and stay with that and let it unfold itself. You might twist around, you might stretch, you might shake, you might moan, you might cry. All of it's totally welcome. It's the release that you didn't, you weren't, in order to survive your life, you weren't able to meet your heart fully and release that wound fully. But you can now. It's always going to be now that you heal. And it's not a done deal. Everything can be healed, can be seen through and felt through. Get cozy with it, get cuddly with it. It's so sweet to be in touch with yourself, to finally feel the fullness of your own neck, of your own throat, of your own heart, of your solar plexus and your belly. And you might notice there's a lot of pain and a lot of tension and a lot of areas that are disembodied. Welcome to the club. But each one, the body will keep showing you, here, please, too, here, please, too. My hips are achy, or my solar plexus is clenched, or there's a sharp pain in my lung. Great, go, just go. Fill your own cup, which is to say, live in your own house, in your own body. Fill every corner of it, every room. Don't leave any area uninhabited. We're taking up residence again. As you take up residence inside whatever area you're working with, notice that you can keep going. You can feel through your whole heart, let's say, and the rib cage, and the sternum, and the spine, and the lungs, and through the skin even, and into the energetic field. of your heart, which is very, very big and robust. And if you keep going, so here you are deep in the center of your heart, and then in the ribs, and then through the skin, and then into the field, notice mm, you can keep going. You can feel the air in the room. You can feel through the walls. You can't do it with your head. And if you want to start over, you go back to the center of your heart, feel that, and then go through the heart, through the ribs, through the sternum, through the skin, out, out, out. And just notice there's no boundary there. L- there's no separation. There are natural boundaries, let's say, energetic boundaries, that you can feel. There's your no or your yes, with your body moving away from something or towards something, very simple. But there's no separation. There's not a wall between you and life, between you and the home you live in, between you and the air, between you and the ground, between you and the sun. You are all the elements. You are, we are each other. And you can feel that. You can feel that deep connectedness that isn't in your story with your relationship. It's in your connectedness with your own body, which is the one body when you investigate. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Tell me what happened if you felt through your wound and if you can feel that oneness, that non separation, because that's what heals the story of separation that's stored in your body and believed in your mind. You just see and feel through it. Like, what's that story again? Hi, Gary, PJ. And just keep, if you found a wound, and or maybe many of them, you just keep cuddling. You just keep fiercely being with it, being so close, being intimate, being integrated. This is the integration, you as oneness awareness and you as the body together again. You're never separate, but now you can sense your togetherness. You can sense your belongingness. You can sense your lovability, your exquisite nature. So you just cuddle for the rest of the evening with that spot. And when you're struggling again, if you're lost in a thought again, there's a fear that captures you, see through it, see what that root fear is, see how it's not real, see how see what's true. What do you really want by coming into the body? And feel through where that wound is. See through it, feel through it. Now you're back in the body, and the body will choose fulfillment. Honor her, honor them, honor him. Speak for him. No to this, yes to this. This is what I want. No, I don't want that. You're not going to abandon you anymore. They have to not abandon themselves. They can't abandon it's not about them. It's just between you and you. All that belongingness, all that love, all that, it's just here. It's just yours. And the more embodied and the more honoring and the more fulfilled and the more effortless because you are with you, then you're just gonna get that in your mirror. You're just gonna get more of it, which we already have so much of it here together. Just more friends doing the same thing. Sovereign, free, fulfilled, fun, embodied people, which we all can be. We all are in our underneath it all. Okay, thank you again. Hope that was helpful. I hope you felt able to feel through the wounding and identified it. And we'll see you tomorrow for more talk about this public trust, which is this same idea, just writ large. Writ large. How would oneness fulfill? Well, how would a free, fulfilled world where everyone's aware of their oneness look? What do we want? What do we want? That's all. Thank you, Peggy. I appreciate you too. Very much. I appreciate you all being here. You all contributed to a beautiful healing field and a sweet, sweet afternoon here. Thanks, Randolph. All right. See you tomorrow at noon. And I wish you a peaceful, sweet evening. Oh, good, Heather. She says it was helpful. Wonderful. Wonderful. Good. And I have, for those who don't know, go on my free healing tab on my Substack page or on my website, megrocol.com. And you'll be linked to my YouTube where I have an insight timer and all my other healing hours where there's a ton of other healing and meditation like this. Um, so there's dozens of hours of exercises like this. Cool. Thank you all. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for being you, Miriam. Yeah, thank us all for being us. We're each so yummy. Okay. Till tomorrow. Bye. Love you.